Everybody to the Brody File. All right, time now to delve into the numbers. Where exactly do evangelicals and, quite frankly, Christians of all stripes fall in to the spectrum when it comes to same-sex marriage? To delve into all of that, we are joined by Robert P. Jones with the Public Religion Research Institute, the CEO of the fine company. Robert, thanks for joining us.
Hey, glad to be here.
All right, let me ask you, you've got a lot of data. I see it in front of you. Let me give this back to you, actually. Talk to me about the younger millennials exactly, because we have seen a shift when it comes to this group in terms of over the years as it relates to same-sex marriage. What are you seeing exactly?
We're seeing actually quite a sea change in the general population that really is being led by the younger generation. So what we see on the issue of same-sex marriage in particular, and I should say that there are very few issues that we see this kind of generational divide, this kind of shift over time that's fairly short. So, for example, when we go back to 1996, we had only 27% of the country supported same-sex marriage. We fast forward to today, most polls are finding kind of slim majority support. Our polling, Gallup's polling, finding 52, 53% support. So that's nearly doubled since 1996 today. And a lot of that is because of this big generation gap between younger, especially the millennial crowd, the under 30-year-old crowd, which is overwhelmingly supportive, and those who are really 50 and older, who tend to be more opposed on this issue.
So what does that say exactly? I mean, why have we seen this shift with younger millennials? Does it have to do with the media message they're hearing? Is it other things? What do you think's going on here?
Yeah, one of the strongest predictors that we see in the polling data is really about knowing someone who's gay or lesbian. Not just knowing someone, but having a close friend or family member who's gay or lesbian. So it actually has to be quite a close relationship. And I think one of the things that's happened over time is that more gay and lesbian people have come out and said, I'm gay or lesbian publicly, and that has happened. Younger people are much more likely to report that they have a close friend or family member who's gay or lesbian than people who are 50 or older. And even when we crunch the data, do regression analysis to see, which of these things are independent predictors of views, this usually comes out as the single most predictive feature of support for same-sex marriage.
Tony Perkins was telling us in the last segment that he believes he's seen these younger millennial studies, but he also says, hey, look, when you're younger, your viewpoint will be different potentially when you're older, when you're into your 40s, you get married, you start to get a little bit more, whatever you want to call it, maybe a little bit more conservative. Do you see that in the polling in the sense of maybe not so much on the marriage issue, but generally that people's views tend to get a little bit more conservative over time?
The question is always, is this a permanent feature of this generational cohort, or is it something that'll change over time? As you said, if you get a mortgage, you get 2 kids, you get married. There are certainly some things like on taxation, the role of government. People tend to get more conservative into their 30s and 40s on those issues. Once their incomes go up, their tax rates go up, they tend to have more conservative views. On this issue, I'm really doubtful that we're going to see that kind of shift, just because it seems to be such a hallmark of this generation, kind of a more pluralistic generation. And we're talking about not just kind of features, but actually relationships, that I'd be surprised if those relationships are jettisoned when they get into their 30s and 40s. And given that it's the relationships that I think are one of the most predictive factors, I would think that really going to see this carry through. And as I said, it's been a very steady uptick in support from 1996 through today. Again, with it just looks like a linear line when you look at the trend data.
Very interesting. Robert P. Jones, a pleasure. Thanks for